Yo, what's poppin', Bagel Bros, and welcome back to another Patreon rant. If you want one of these for yourself, be sure to give me $10 on Patreon. This one comes from Baka the Fool, who says, I loved the videos and pictures of the kitties you posted in the last rant. There's a little cute emoticon. Good luck on the next video. Rant about driving and drivers. So, this is actually interesting because I feel like your perspective on driving changes entirely depending on where you live. So I live out in the countryside. I've only been driving for about 4 years because I learned how to drive very late. I did not get my license at 16. I waited all the way until 18. And so I haven't been driving for particularly long. And almost all of my driving has been done on not very busy roads. So the busiest roads I encounter on like a regular basis would be interstates and occasionally going out into the city during rush hour, which is very rare. But the vast majority of my driving is country roads, which are ill-populated, and I see like a couple cars I mean, it depends on how busy the road is. You know, sometimes it can be decently busy, but a lot of the times it can be like you only see like a couple cars the entire trip, and it's like a 10-minute drive or whatever. And so the point is, where I live, like because of those surroundings, I've developed an extremely defensive driving style, which is how you're supposed to drive generally. But like, for example, if I'm in like a busy road, you know, a lot of people, they will stay on the right lane. Okay, let's say you're on a busy road and you need to eventually turn left. A lot of people will stay in the right lane until like literally right next to the turn, then immediately try and jump in, fuck any other car that's going there, and then turn left. Whereas to me, it's like, if I know a left turn is coming up, I'm thinking, okay, I need to get in the left lane as soon as possible, because in my head, it's like, I have no idea if that lane's even going to be available in the future. And so it's like just planning super far ahead for those sorts of turns. But then when I took a trip to Florida to see my friend Neon, he drove on what is notoriously like one of the worst roads in the country. Like, it's super deadly and people drive insane. Like, they drive completely psychotically. And even though he is like still, you know, a relatively responsible and defensive driver, it is like infinitely more aggressive than anything I would have pulled on that road. I would have sat in my lane and taken forever to fucking plan out when I'm going to shift lanes, and like I hate just shifting lanes on busy roads. I think it is genuinely like every time I do it, I feel like I'm about to die, because you know, you have limited visibility. Sure, you check all your blind spots and whatnot, but you know, it's still hard to see. You know, you have obstructed vision, and a lot of people just do it flippantly, and it's always bizarre to me. In an ideal world, I think America would have much fewer cars. Like, I think I think cities should have more public transit, more trains and shit. Obviously, I'm for all that. Cars are dangerous as shit, and we shouldn't be relying on them as much. But unfortunately, where I live, it would genuinely be impossible to like make a train station that is remotely financially stable. Like, I live so far in the middle of nowhere that like I do just kind of have to use cars to get everywhere. You know, there's a reason why European countries have way more trains and way more public transport than America, and it's because America is spread so thin compared to those countries. And so, like, on the one hand, I do want more public transportation, but on the other hand, there is a huge portion of the country's population which will not be able to have public transportation. Like, it is just not financially viable. And so, unfortunately, where I live, yeah, I'm gonna have to be car dependent unless I move to, I mean, I'll have to be car dependent no matter where I am in America, because it's fucking America. But even in the hypothetical train public transportation utopia where I don't have to drive at all, I mean, I particularly would need to drive because I live in a place where having trains just isn't really feasible. Yeah, that's about it. See